What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, First Presbyterian Church, Murfreesboro. This is your daily meditation for Thursday, December 2nd, 2021. Great to be with you, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever you're tuning in. Okay, this morning, today, I am going to read to you some verses from Job chapter 12. And then I'm going to talk about fire. Let's just dive in. Job 12. But ask the animals, and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, and they will tell you, or speak to the earth, and it will teach you, or let the fish in the sea inform you. Which of all these does not know that the hand of the Lord has done this? In his hand is the life of every creature and the breath of all humankind. Does not the ear test words as the tongue tastes food? Is not wisdom found among the aged? Does not life bring understanding? So the other day on the radio, I heard a story about the Gatlinburg wildfire, which some people may remember, happened in 2016. Big fire in Gatlinburg, burnt up 15 square miles in the forests around Gatlinburg, burned for about 30 days. It was a big fire. A bunch of people died. I don't remember how many, in the teens, I think. But what's interesting to me, it's obviously what made it on the news, is what scientists and forest worker people are finding in these 5 years since this fire. Table Mountain pines is a tree that grows out there, and Table Mountain pine seedlings are sprouting for the first time in decades. Turns out that these pine cones from these pine trees need really high heat in order to fully open up and release the seeds. They've also found chestnut trees, a bunch of these American chestnut trees that were thought to have basically almost been extinct, the species, from a chestnut tree blight back in like the year 1900 or something. And there's a ton of these little American chestnut tree seedlings growing. It turns out that underground there was a deep system of roots and whatnot that was just waiting there, maybe for the last 120 years underground. There's also a fire-loving fungi that has emerged and is all over the place. Scientists don't know how the fungi got there. Fires that burn as hot as this Gatlinburg fire did kill and burn and toast everything in the first 8 inches of the soil. And so any fungi that was living there would have been roasted. So scientists think either the fungi was down deeper than 8 inches, which is odd, I guess, or the wind blew the fungi from other parts of the forest into this burnt area. Job chapter 12. The wind blew it in. Incredible. And scientists discovered that the roots of these little seedling trees are covered in this fungus that's growing. The fungus protects them, helps them grow. The fungus helps the forest regrow. It's just wild that these things are happening. Now, there's a lot of different ways we could go with this. Obviously, this is a preacher's dream, right? Fire burns, toasts the forest, destruction, and new growth, new growth out of fire and all that. Things unexpected. Probably a lot of different ways we could go with this. But here's the point that I want to make. We have no idea what's going on beneath the surface of the earth, underground. We have no idea what's happening in the soil. And I'm not going to take it I'm tempted to take it down a metaphorical road here, sort of parabolic, in the soil of our lives. Well, what's happening in the soil of our community? You could go that direction with it, but I don't want to do that. Let's just talk about the soil, the dirt. We have no idea what's going on. Scientists didn't know that there was this underground root system that was keeping these American chestnut trees from to possibly grow again. We didn't know. Where the fungus blows in from the wind, we have no idea. We don't know what's going on below the surface of the soil. This is an area that is the Earth's domain. Mother Earth's domain, right? God's divine domain under that soil. And the really neat thing about this to me is that something like God's word in Job 12, ask the animals and they will teach you, or the birds in the sky, they'll tell you, or speak to the earth and it will teach you. I think God's word here in Job, speak to the earth and it will teach you. There is a connection point between this news story about the Gatlinburg fire and what's growing there and what this deep truth is that we're seeing in Job. Speak to the earth and it will teach you. We can listen to stories like this, like the Gatlinburg fire and the new growth that's happening and what's happened under the soil that we've learned. And we actually hear deep divine truth and wisdom in these stories that's coming from the earth. The earth is teaching us this wisdom. Speak to the earth and it will tell you. Now, we know that it comes from a divine source of radical, ultimate love and redemption. But how neat is that? Speak to the earth and it will tell you. And I think my hunch, just like me, a lot of people heard that news story about the fire and the trees and the whatever and all that. And a little warm, fuzzy feeling came over them. And whether they knew it or not, I think this is what's happening. The earth is teaching you something, and its ultimate source is from the God of the universe. And that's really neat. That's the devotion for today. Speak to the earth and it will teach you. My friends, I hope this video finds you well. Advent blessings as we come up into the second Sunday of Advent. Grace and peace. We will hopefully see you soon. Get to church. We'd love to see you. Bye-bye.